Okay, testing. Testing. Okay. I think I got sound. All right. Number one, it's not really important, but I never use the grid. It's over here under plan defaults. Edit default settings, plan defaults, I think it is. Maybe it's called general plan defaults. I don't use the architectural all that much. Maybe it's over here. There you go, reference grid. The reference grid is what I don't use. To me, it just clutters up the screen. And the mistake you made was in building this foundation. Let's take a look at it. Look at it in an overview camera. And you got walls and footings and so forth. If you're a structural engineer, well, you can specify the foundation on, but it's not legal. Only a structural engineer in all states of the United States is empowered by the state to design foundations. And you can see that the garage is lower than the house. The house is up here, and the garage is down here. So what I'm going to do is go over to Edit Default Settings, Foundation, Edit, and we're just going to put in a monolithic foundation slab. Now, let's take a look at this. Okay, it's still a little bit lower than the house, and normally the garage is supposed to be lower, but I usually set them about 6 inches lower. The reason for that is, let's see what the garage says now. Okay, for some reason it's at -3.5. Let's go down here, and we'll set this at default. I'm just going to put it back to default, and then we'll take a look at it again. See, what most new users don't do is they haven't read the reference manual yet, or even the user's guide. That's up here under help. View user's guide. This user's guide is I don't know, 30 oh, it's 172 pages, so they've added to it. You ought to read this line by line, and that'll tell you how to use the program and how it's programmed to work. And the other one is up here under help, read reference manual. Now the reference manual is a lot more pages, 616 pages. I wouldn't recommend you just reading this like a book, because you will never remember it all. But when you get stuck, you can open up the reference manual and just read the sections that you're interested in finding out about. Another thing that's built into the program is, I'm going to click on, we'll click on that, and I'm going to hit the F1 key, F1, and that should open. Yeah, okay, opens the, and since I had a wall selected, it opens to the help section on walls. Let's go up a floor. Okay, we'll click on a door, and then hit F1. And it'll open the help files on doors, because I had a door selected and I hit the F1 key. Now let's hit a window and hit F1. And you can scroll through this, and it's all the basic information you need to have about Windows is right there. So there's a lot of self-help built into the software. Okay, now I've straightened out the foundation, and now I can go up here to the garage, which is, we'll get rid of these stairs now. We don't, let me show you. And now, the stairs are now no longer necessary. Oh, well, I spoke too soon. Let me open the dialog box for this garage, and it's set to 0. It should actually be set to -6 inches. And the reason for that is, now why is the red, well, this looks a little confusing. We don't need those stairs. Get rid of those. Okay, yeah, there's the bottom of the door, and it's just right above the floor. But what I want is a garage set at -6. So I'm going to go down here and open this dialog box. Go to structure, and okay. Oh yeah, I didn't ever finish my sentence earlier. Garage floors are slanted so that when you drive into them, you don't have to mount a ramp out here and go up to the garage. The garage is usually at floor level, and the floor is slanted towards, away from the house so that water can't run into the house. So I usually set mine at -6, unless the terrain's different. And we don't need these stairs anymore. Let's get rid of those. And just to verify that that's true, we'll take a look here at the front door. And see, the door is just, I can't really tell in this camera. Well, yeah, it looks like it's a little high. So what you do is you raise the terrain. So yeah, the garage is high and dry now. We'll click on the terrain and open its dialog box and go over here to the, and we'll uncheck automatic. See, it's set to 8 inches. Normally, national codes require about 6 inches of reveal between the grade and the finished floor of the first floor. So you wouldn't necessarily have to have a step here. And you can see here, if I had this at the floor in the garage at -6, let me check to see if that door responded. Yeah, floor to bottom 6, that should be 0. When you start out with these settings wrong, then the software isn't going to automatically compensate for your mistakes. It just follows your orders, right or wrong. Let's check that door and see if it's at the right height. Okay, the floor to bottom 0, that's what it's supposed to be. Okay. I guess you could have one step there if you wanted. But see, now you can just drive the car. Let me open the garage door. Options, show open. See, now it's just a pretty smooth shot into the garage. Okay. So whenever you run into trouble in this software, it's always, okay. I set the foundation to -6, so this room dialog box here followed suit. That's fine. That's what I wanted. So that's pretty much solves your problem. Now this door here is at 0, and then it's 6 inches to the floor because I told it to be. In the real world, the floor would slant up and be at 0 inches here at the door threshold, and then slant downwards towards the garage door at its lowest point at -6. That's my thinking about that. Okay, we'll close that. I think that pretty much solves that. But if you run into any other conundrums, just the mistake you made was creating the foundation as early in this plan as you did. I usually create foundations last, right before framing, or I'll create framing and then I'll build the foundation, depending on what kind of foundation I want. I'm not an engineer, so my foundations are just cosmetic. I just want them to look right. They don't have to be right. They just have to look right. Let's take a look at this in a full overview. So I think that's all that's going on here. You got, if you'd read the user's guide, you would see that you don't build the foundation early in designing designing the house or structure. So that's about it. For personalized help like this, I usually charge $75 an hour, and of course this wouldn't amount to much, 37.50 or something like that. I'm not saying you owe me any money, but if you want to use me again, I can work directly with you live using my GoToMeeting account, or you can just send me a file and make sure that I fully understand what you want done, and then you can pay me like that and so forth. This is free. You asked me to help, and I had some time, so I felt like helping, and so there it is. I didn't look at the back. I assume the back's okay. But you may not have known that the terrain is adjustable, and you adjust the terrain to the house. The terrain doesn't affect the house at all, because terrain was added as a feature to this software 15 years ago. So it wasn't originally part of the software, and it's treated as an add-on. Yeah, it looks okay. Now this deck here would probably be set lower than the house as well for drainage purposes. So I would probably take this and set it not at 0 but at -3. So if you get a big rain, again, water's not going to run into the house. See, I just dropped it down a little bit so that it's slightly below the door threshold, that's all. If you look at a lot of houses and go up there with a measuring tape, you'll find this to be generally true, that there's going to be a step down at decks and a step down at porches and so forth. So I guess I'm about done. And I'll upload this to YouTube so you can look it over, and we'll both live happily ever after. Thanks for watching.